One of the biggest ripoffs in the real estate industry is the government of the state of California and the government of the city of Los Angeles. I'm almost a lifetime Californian, 63 of my 65 years of life here, and love it. My family's here, love the weather, but increasingly it's gone downhill. And the biggest force that's doing that, it's causing the decline, is our government. And I'm going to walk you through, I think, the facts and some reasons why. So the facts of the case are pretty clear. In California, while we have about 10% of the population of the United States, we have 1/3 of the homeless. It's shocking how many people live on our streets. Of course, we have programs and we're increasingly putting them into hotels and motels and other buildings, parks. But we have 1/3 of the country's homeless as a reason why. So yes, we have a large economy. And it's true that we have the largest economy in the country, but what that does is it concentrates the wealth amongst a few people. And then we have this huge poor group, and then the middle class is suffering. And for the most part, those are the people moving out of our state. Another factor, if you look at it, is the lack of affordable housing. Now, affordable housing means the average person can buy the average house. And the American dream was that everybody could buy a house and live in it, raise their family there. And that's just simply not true in California anymore. In fact, statewide, the percentage of people who can afford to live in an average size house has plummeted to 16%. So that means that only 16% of the population can afford to live in the average priced home here in California. And it's worse, in San Francisco, it's 1%. 1% of the people who live there can afford to buy a home that's at the average price there. And so what you have is this bifurcated economy. We have wealthy people, and they live behind gates for the most part in secure areas. And then you have the huddled masses who are getting some attention politically, but really aren't being helped. And the middle class is really suffering. And again, that's why the most beautiful state in the country, in my opinion, I've traveled a lot of them, we have actually more people moving out than moving in. Now we look at the government, and I don't mean to be political. If you're happy with what's going on, I'm going to give you credit to your favorite people. If you think that what's happening in California is good, one thing you'll notice our state officials is everyone is elected Democrat. It's not even close. It's not 6-2. It's not 5-3. It's 8-0. So basically, the Democrat Party runs the state of California, and I just think it has to own the results. And it's even the same in the city of Los Angeles. Every single city council member in LA, but one is a Democrat, one's independent, probably too scared to say he's not a Democrat in that one little pocket of area in the very north part of LA County or city of Los Angeles. So basically you have the Democratic Party. So we can understand then who's responsible. And in most businesses, you hold them responsible for the results. Let's take a look at who is it that actually elects people. So for example, the superintendent of schools, who elects him? Well, it's basically teachers, the teachers union, the California Teachers Association, PACE, which is the school employees, California Teachers Union, American teachers, and then you have a union, and then a union, and then more union, and more union. So basically the unions of California, led by the teachers, are really running our state. If you look at who the contributors are politically. So again, if you're happy with results, then good for you, and take a bow. And if you're not happy, let's hold those people who are doing this, hold them responsible. If you take a look at the platform of the Democratic Party in California, you're going to see that here's our party platform. What's important to them? Business economy, children, young adults and their families. Well, that's everybody. Civil justice, criminal justice. You have all this list of things. What you don't have on here is housing. Immigration is important. So bringing new people here is important to the Democratic Party, but it's not even, they have sustainable communities, which says they want to build healthy, livable, and sustainable communities, but we're not building any communities today. So whatever you don't build should be sustainable is what they're really saying. And they care about niches of people, seniors, women, and then world peace and international relations. But what's not on here is housing people, and what's not on here is helping people enjoy the American dream. And so again, I'm not saying they're good or bad. That's what is. That's why housing isn't being helped in California, because it's just not important to our leadership. What do I mean by that? Well, here's an example. Here's a housing project that was announced. We're desperate for affordable housing. Here in LA, we have a 49-unit housing project that's been in process for 17 years. So 17 years ago, there was all kinds of public officials. That would be in 2007. Whoever the mayor was then, and the council members, they're all around. They cut ribbons, and then it gets carried in the press. Who's their lapdog? But nothing ever really gets done. And so when politicians announce new programs, it's kind of like a business person talking about what they're going to do for their next customer, not taking care of the customers they currently have. No other business other than government could get away with that. Well, here's a new solution they came up with. Let's house people in parking lots in churches. Well, who would think that's a good idea? I mean, I guess it's better than having people homeless, but who in the world says, when I grow up, I want to own a house that's in the parking lot of a church? Now, don't get me wrong. I personally chose my house because we're walking distance to my synagogue. I'm a block and a half away. I'm all for going to church. But on the actual parking lot of the church, that seems kind of weird. So that's our solution to housing. Or one of the solutions to housing is to allow people to build houses on churches. I don't know about that. So let's ask, well, how is the government doing on regulating real estate? Well, again, I'm in real estate. I'm in a results business. If I help somebody sell a house, I get paid. If the house doesn't sell, I don't get paid. How does the California government do as far as, supporting real estate? Well, one example would be the Department of Real Estate. And here is from their website, current processing time. So if you're a real estate agent, you have a license, you want to get it changed, as of 2 days ago, because they can't update it daily in this internet age, they can't update online data in 2 days. They're processing applications from January 20th. So they're over a month old on just processing. You move your address, you change some information on your license. If you add a new doing business as, so you want to market your business, and you by law have to turn in a form that you're marking as a doing business as, those are being updated since December 1st. This is February 22nd. So we're about 2 months behind. Broker license changes December 21st, before Christmas. Broker association affiliation, December 21st. Branch division managers, if you're a company, you have new managers, they're processing applications. So technically your license isn't updated for, in this case, 2 months. Corporate license changes, 2 months. Corporate officer changes, January, February, March, 3 months almost. So it takes this long to process paperwork in 2024, they're so behind, it takes them 2 days to even update the results. These are people who are insisting on controlling more and more the decision-making and the implementation of the regulations of a real estate. That's how poor they're doing. So you would say, well, are they trying to improve things? Here's an example of how bad our government is. So here's Spectrum News, and they say, Newsom signed 56 different bills to address the housing crisis. Now, there were hundreds of bills. 56, he signed more than 1,000 bills. So if you figure 250 working days, Governor Newsom was signing 4 bills a day. If you figure the average pages, I don't know how many pages in a bill, 50, 100 pages. He's signing and reading 200 pages a day. He's not reading any of it. He doesn't even look at it. He just signs it. Of 1,000 bills he signs, that's a problem. He signs 56 to address housing. That's a problem. It's so many that nobody can even agree. Here's the San Francisco Chronicle says he signed over 60 housing bills this year. So we can't even count how many bills these people who have failed my entire career. So I've been in business since 1986. We've built less houses now than we did then, with an increased population. The housing's gotten more restrictive, not less restrictive. The government can't even process license changes. No business would tolerate 2 days to update your status times. No business would tolerate 3 months to change an application or a piece of paper. None of us would accept that, except for with our government. And so the biggest real estate ripoff here in California, where some states have zero taxes, America fought a revolution over tax on tea. Here in California, we pay 13% income tax on top of payroll taxes, unemployment taxes, sales taxes, the highest gas tax in America. And are we getting better government than average? I would say no. I would say we're getting completely incompetent government. And in the realm of real estate, they're so busy adding new laws and don't have the time to process the basic fundamentals of tackling. That's harder and harder for developers to develop new real estate, for people to sell, to help people to get into real estate. That's where the problem is. And so of all the real estate ripoffs, and I call this holding big business accountable, government is just a business with guns and badges. And the difference is, while a business is only responsible to its customers if they want to be customer focused, legally, the government works for us. We have settled for a much lower standard of service. We should have a government that is supporting and empowering our citizens instead of empowering itself. And as you see, they're electing themselves to office. They're giving themselves so many bills they can't even count them. They're doing such a poor job processing what they have that the timelines are unbelievable. What do you think? I mean, do you agree with the state of California's policies? Do you agree with the results they have? Put it in the chat. I'd love to hear your opinion. I'm at Bill Gross Probate on social media. Call, text, or email me. And as always, make today your best day ever. Thanks so much.